Welcome, dear ones. I am Fedrajani, and you are listening to Inner Light, a podcast dedicated to kindle light of meaning into your life. Today, we continue our journey into the symbolism of animals by exploring the symbolism of the mouse. When we think of the mouse, we think of an animal that is tiny, quiet, almost invisible. But the mouse teaches us that true strength often works silently. A mouse survives in a world filled with dangers. Nearly every larger animal haunts it, but its real gifts are its intelligence, alertness, adaptability, and persistence. Spiritually, this makes the mouse one of the greatest symbols of resourcefulness. The mouse never complains about what it lacks. Instead, it makes perfect use of what it has. Another beautiful lesson of the mouse is attention to the detail. Unlike larger animals that roam across vast landscapes, the mouse lives closely to the ground. It notices every crack in the wall. Nothing escapes its awareness. Spiritually, the mouse invites us to become attentive to the small things that shape our lives every day. A single kind word can heal a wounded heart. A daily habit can transform an entire future. One thoughtful decision today may become tomorrow's destiny. Our lives are rarely changed by dramatic moments alone. They are shaped by thousands of seemingly insignificant choices. And closely connected to this is another remarkable quality of the mouse: persistence. A mouse doesn't accomplish its work through force, it accomplishes it only one tiny movement at a time, day after day. There is almost something monastic about the mouse. Without complaint, without applause, without seeking recognition, it simply continues. The mouse also teaches us something modern society often forgets, which is the power of community. One mouse seems insignificant, but hundreds of mice working together become impossible to ignore. And nature teaches us that many small voices united together possess immense power. And history confirms this. Great social movements were rarely created by one heroic individual. They were actually created by ordinary people standing together. Perhaps the mouse's greatest spiritual lesson is humility. It fulfills its own purpose perfectly, because humility does not mean believing you are worthless. Humility means understanding that your value does not depend upon appearing important. Likewise, never underestimate the importance of your own quiet contribution. Not every light is meant to become a lighthouse. Some are simply meant to illuminate one home. And sometimes that is enough to change the world. Across cultures, the mouse have carried fascinating symbolic meanings. Among the ancient Greeks and Romans existed a form of divination known as maiomancy, where the behavior of mice was carefully observed to predict future events. Because mice sensed subtle environmental changes before humans did, they became symbols of intuition and hidden knowledge. In this way, the mouse reminds us to trust those quiet inner feelings that often perceive danger or opportunity before our rational mind understands them. In the Chinese zodiac, the rat, the close symbolic relative of the mouse, is the first animal of the zodiac sign. and it represents intelligence, adaptability, prosperity, and new beginnings. According to tradition, the rat won the greatest celestial race not through strength, but through cleverness alone. Rather than overpowering the larger animals, it observed, adapted, and chose the perfect moment to act. This lesson is timeless, but every spiritual symbol has its shadow, of course. The mouse also warns us. Its first shadow is fear, because mice spend much of their lives hiding from predators. They naturally become symbols of timidity. Sometimes we too allow fear to keep us hidden. We postpone speaking our truth. Also, another shadow lesson concerns energy leaks. Anyone who has discovered a mouse in a pantry knows how much damage one tiny creature can create. And symbolically, this becomes a powerful metaphor. Rarely is our life destroyed by one catastrophic event. More often, our energy disappears through countless small leaks, endless distractions, unnecessary worries, or negative thoughts. The symbolism of the mouse encourages us to examine our lives carefully. Where is your attention being stolen? Where is your peace quietly disappearing? Where are your resources leaking away? Sometimes the greatest transformation begins not by adding something new, but by removing what slowly drains us. So trust the quiet voice within and honor the little things to protect your energy. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode, dear ones. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do like this episode, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I would be really happy. I am Fedrajani, and you are listening to Inner Light. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next episode.